Hi, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I am still recovering. I'm still sick in a sense, and it's one of those purging kind of things. And I sat and I thought about last April, and I was actually sick for the whole month. And while I have not been feeling well, I've been keeping to myself a lot and really sitting with my feelings. I love telling you all to do that. I do that quite a bit. And in sitting with my feelings and paying attention to my dreams, it helped me to really piece together some idea of a pattern of why I could potentially be sick in April again in a very similar fashion to the way I was sick in April last year. And I am doing this reading a little bit later than I usually do in general. It's almost 11 p.m. in my time zone right now. And it's because I was out tonight sharing some of my poetry and I felt really inspired, and people were inspired by me. I was there with my auntie and we had a very good conversation about healing and clearing and staying present and the fear that comes up from feeling pain from our past experiences and how we could potentially avoid it. So everything went very well with this evening, and I came home. I said, you know what? I feel rejuvenated, not as tired as I was feeling earlier, not as ill as I was feeling earlier. Let me go and just, do the reading and just share whatever comes up from it. And I chose my healing deck. And I chose my healing deck simply because right now I am in a space of physical healing, but in sitting through and waiting for the physical healing to really fully take into effect, being helped with my emotional healing just by kind of being forced to sit still and take stock of what's been going on or anything that's been overlooked. It's a spring cleaning, clearing of anything stagnant. If you watched my last video, I went into a little bit of a discussion about that. So the card I ended up pulling, and it was funny because I was shuffling and then this card was like sticking up, and I'm still kind of shuffling and the card just kept inching up even a little bit more and more with each shuffle of the deck. And the card I ended up pulling was triggers. And when I pulled this triggers card, I was like, whoa, this was like the stuff that I was discussing over dinner with my auntie. And she had mentioned to me that, there are things that she knew she went through in her life in her childhood that she puts and hides away somewhere over there so she doesn't have to focus on it. Just puts it in the recesses of her mind. And we do this a lot because we don't want to revisit the pain. And I say, you know what? In revisiting the pain, what's the worst that can happen? Can it really hurt you again the same way? You may feel the hurt and relive it in that moment, but as you face it and tackle it, you can release it and let it go. And focusing on your past traumas and things that hurt you are critical in managing your triggers. Basically, a trigger is something that trips your ego because it takes you back to a place that you didn't want to be. It takes you back to a memory that you're trying to avoid. It takes you back to something that hurt you that you may not have faced or you're avoiding facing. And the key to not being triggered is to really sit and address all the things you did not like, all the things you did not want in your past and even in your present. Being in the present moment helps you to really focus on your feelings and your needs, and will help you identify what it is from your past that's causing you to react the way that you do to certain circumstances, that causes you to have certain feelings in your belly, in your heart, you know, tension, your stress. It's the explanation for maybe blowing something out of proportion, or taking extra, being extra sensitive to something someone did or said, because it isn't just what they did or said, it's what other people have done and said that reminded you of what this person just said to you, and you feel it. It's very important to sit with yourself and sort through it. And that's one of the things that I'm doing right now. And it means coming to an understanding sometimes where you may not have an explanation for everything that has happened to you, what's happening in your life right now. You may not know where you're headed, where you're going. You may not know why you were in certain circumstances and feel powerless to do something about it. And the thing that I recommend, and the advice that I go by when I feel like I'm in a position where I don't exactly know what the next step is, or what should be done, or if it seems like way too many avenues to choose for what should be done, I sit. I don't do anything. You know, it's like it's okay to be in a place of not knowing. And once you come to understand that and are able to be comfortable with it, you might find yourself a little more peaceful than you were before. Now, for someone like me who has a core that's rooted in control in a sense of I like to know what's going to happen. If I don't have my hand in all these places, it might fall apart. Taking a step back to say, you know what, I really don't have any idea. I just have to kind of play it by ear in certain situations. It takes a lot, and it doesn't happen overnight, but you can certainly do it. And the other thing I would like to mention is that one of the ways that we might try to control things in our lives is in our external circumstances. And that is a way to help us feel a level of sanity when we have a lot of discord within. Once you find yourself clearing out within and becoming more calm and centered within, you can take that peace and that calmness in any environment and be okay.